Hello, HRM and Professor Garris. I am presenting on expanding operations to Colombia, and I'm presenting on my phone because I'm having technical difficulties. Um, so I'm so sorry. All right, so to start off, I wanted to figure out what cultural differences need to be overcome for the team to successfully recruit, hire, and staff a team in a foreign country. So, obviously, the team I'm referring to is the team of 8, the 3 current employees from the US, and the 5 new hires from Colombia. So this team is going to be kind of a trial team to see what works, what policies need to be adapted, any, language barriers and just cultural differences that they can come together on, work together on to recruit and hire and staff 100 employees to work in the factory. This group is going to set the tone and the success or failure of integrating this technology organization to Colombia. So, key considerations when hiring internally and externally. What approach would be utilized? Geocentric or regiocentric makes sense, especially considering there are locations in Canada, US, and Germany. So when we look at geocentric, it's an approach that the MNE is taking a global approach in its operations, recognizing that each part makes a unique contribution with its unique competence. So that made sense. Part of the US, part of Colombia, each makes a contribution to the success of the organization. But the regiocentric, their approach reflects the geographic strategy and structure of the MNE. But staff may not move outside their home countries, they may move outside their home countries, but only within the particular geographic region. So this was interesting because with all of the locations, that would mean that you can come from Germany, come from the US, come from Colombia, but not permanently, and you're not going to be promoted to a headquarter position like US promoted in Germany or Colombia or outside of your home country. Okay, so the importance of candidate selection. Obviously, expatriate and impatriots. So the expatriate part, those 3 managers know the organization, they know how it runs, they know the policies, they know the mission and vision. The impatriots, the 5 managers from Colombia, they know their country, they know their culture, they know their language. So they need each other, they need to work together to share their knowledge and facilitate effective corporate activities in local markets. To work together, hire the right people, and get this factory staffed. Okay. So, key characteristics hiring managers should look for internal candidates. There's a table in our book, and it's the advantages and disadvantages of using parent country nationals, third country nationals, and host country nationals. So obviously we're using host country nationals, so those advantages are language and other barriers are eliminated. Hiring costs are reduced and no work permit is required. Continuity of management improves since host country nationals stay longer in their positions. Government policy may dictate hiring host country nationals, which is fine, that's what they're going to do anyways, and morale among host country nationals may improve as they see future career potential. Some disadvantages are control and coordination of headquarters may be impeded. Host country nationals have limited career opportunities outside the subsidiary. Hiring host country nationals limits opportunities for parent country nationals to gain foreign experience, which I don't think is true in this case, because again, they have to work together because they both have knowledge that is going to help this organization move its operations to Colombia. And then hiring host country nationals could encourage a federation of national rather than global units. So policies to adhere to. So one interesting thing I found is from the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs. So there is a bullet point. So over 20 years, Colombia and the United States have worked together to ensure peace, disrupt transactional criminal organization and terrorist groups, eradicate drugs, and trade goods. So this is really important for, I think, expatriates and impatriots both to know, because the last thing as an expatriate that you want to do is come into a country and say, this is how we do it, this is what we're going to do it, it works, and then enforce all of our policies and regulations and everything on this country and disrupt the peace and the eradicating drugs and the relationship that Colombia and the United States have built. So I thought that was really interesting and important to know. I think as an expatriate, you can go and talk to the 5 other, managers and kind of let them know the mission and vision and policies you have and what works, and get a take from their perspective if that will work. Obviously, Colombia and the U.S. both being high masculinity countries, they are driven by competition, achievement, and success. So that could possibly work to your advantage. So looking at cultural differences, how local recruitment and selection are impacted. So I think it's kind of funny because both Colombia and the United States are driven by competition. So they're masculine. But then Colombia is really not strong or not individualistic, whereas the United States is. So that means that their people seek membership in groups, which gives them status and rewards linked to performance, but they often sacrifice leisure against work as long as it's supported by group membership by power holders. So I don't know how that will work, I guess, with their masculine but individual. They want it to be part of a group, and in the US we're used to working alone. We kind of like that, so that's something that they're going to have to work on, is how to work together, not individually but also as a group. So comparing differences, Canada and Germany versus the US and Colombia. So again, that masculinity is really high. Again, we have all 4 countries driven by competition. And then again, Colombia, not very individualistic. Canada, Germany, United States, individualistic. And then power distance, that was interesting to look at. Because, let's see, so Colombia is a society that believes in inequalities amongst people. They're simply a fact of life. As you can see, the Canada and Germany and the United States don't feel that way. So again, Colombian culture is classified as normative. People in such societies have strong concern with establishing the absolute truth. They are normative in their thinking. They exhibit great respect for traditions, a relatively small propensity to save for the future, and a focus on achieving quick results. So I think, again, like the United States, quick results, they like that. But we don't always not seek out the truth, but we can confront people and get answers and go about our business and work individually. And Canada's kind of the same, Germany is kind of the same, and Colombia just is not like that. So again, just keeping this in mind when they are working together to recruit and staff and find people, employees. My biblical perspective. So I this is kind of my go-to, Matthew 7:12. So in everything you do, do to others what you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophet. So I think this applies in everything that we do. Treat everyone how you want to be treated. If you wouldn't want something done to you, don't do that to them. And then the other biblical reference I looked at was Ephesians 4:25. Therefore, each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. So communication in this endeavor is going to be huge. If the team of 8 can't work together, nothing's going to get decided, nothing's going to get done, and it's going to fail before it even starts. So keeping in mind the differences that Colombians, they want to be part of group. US is used to being individuals, but again, you're driven by competition. Maybe use what you have in common and build on that, and then work towards working as a group versus working individually, because there's going to be times when you have to work individually and times you work as a group. Just keep that in mind as you're recruiting and staffing these employees. So, key recommendations for staffing positions. So this was interesting. Existing research reveals that mentoring leads to higher motivation, improved job performance, greater retention, and more efficient succession planning. So that I think was actually really good to see and mentor. So this group of 8, they can mentor each other through their cultural differences, what works, what doesn't work, what's going to attract these 100 people to come work in this technology factory. Maybe, it's not always going to be money. Some of it's going to be compensation, not all of it. Some of it's going to be getting to do, a job that they maybe didn't think they would ever get to do. But just mentor each other, work together. Another recommendation would be training in cultural differences prior to leaving for the assignment. So like looking and knowing that Colombia and the United States for 20 years have worked together for peace and a war on drugs and against terrorism, and they trade goods, and trying not to stomp all over that when you get to Colombia. And then just, knowing the history. And despite U.S. tech companies' confidence in entering overseas markets, respondents are aware of the difficulties involved. The most prevalent HR barriers include recruiting and managing employee immigration, managing different payroll processes, and dealing with communications issues. And that came from Maurer. So again, a lot of differences to overcome, and not forcing U.S. policies and procedures on Colombia because that they work, and being open to a different ideas and what they know works. So in conclusion, mentoring, research, history, assignment length, job characteristics are all going to work together for the team to successfully recruit, hire, and staff a team in a foreign country. And it's just going to go back to communication and working together and knowing that each country is masculine and driven by competition, but also that Colombia likes to be part of a group, part of a team. US is used to being individual. How do we come together and recruit the best people that we can in the time that we have? And this assignment isn't going to be a short-term assignment. It's going to be a lengthy, long-term assignment. So also having that in the back of your mind and knowing you're going to be working together for a while, and communicating and respecting each other as much as you can.